Thank you everyone for joining us. Welcome to the webinar, the 5 business challenges solved by managing your printers. My name is Brendan Ellis. I am the healthcare and ISV marketing specialist here at Barcodes and your host for this afternoon. We have some great content to share on this topic, and we're excited to be presenting it with our partner, SOTI. Before we kick things off, I just want to let everybody know that this webinar is being recorded, and everyone will receive a copy of that recording via email after the webinar. You can also check it out on our blog or on YouTube as well. If you have any questions that may pop up during the webinar, feel free to submit them to the chat. We'll try to answer them as we go, but we will also host a Q&A at the very end as well. So before we start, I just want to do a quick background about both of our companies. Barcodes Inc. has been in business for over 25 years. We have a very large and dedicated team comprised of account executives, solutions architects, customer sales and tech support, and much, much more. We are a leader in rugged and field worker mobility. We work with 70% of Fortune 500 companies, and we have over 150,000 customers worldwide. A little bit about SOTI as well. From a business perspective, SOTI has been around since 1995. They have 17,000 enterprise customers, managing millions of devices, and are growing at a phenomenal rate year over year. And they've been doing that for the last 5 years. A lot of companies are happy with a 2 to 5% growth rate. So you can see that they're doing quite well for themselves. Being a Canadian company, the majority of their revenue comes from exporting software around the world, and they do this with the help of their 4,000 plus partners. And with that, I will introduce today's expert speakers, starting with Nick Cimbur. Nick is the regional sales manager at SOTI. He's been with them for over 5 years. Nick's primary role is to manage SOTI's large business accounts team, which includes SOTI's largest partners and customers, by ensuring the successful management of all their mobility management needs. With over 19 years of mobility experience, Nick has focused his last 9 years working with high growth tech companies in North America. Nick works directly with SOTI value-added resellers, OEM partners, enterprise customers to successfully deploy the SOTI One platform. Secondly, we have Neil Patel, a senior account manager with SOTI. Neil has been with SOTI for nearly 2 years. In his role as senior account manager, Neil's primary focus is to grow relations with SOTI's large business partners and customers by ensuring the successful management of their mission-critical mobile and IoT-enabled devices. Neil has over 15 years of sales experience in various industries, such as hospitality, service, and technology. And finally, we have Johan Thalakada. He's the senior sales engineer at SOTI. Johan has worked with SOTI since 2019 and is the lead subject matter expert for SOTI Connect Global Sales Engineering engagements. He manages proof of concept deployments with partners and customers while assisting the go-to market strategies for the product. Johan has a diverse background in technical sales, customer support, and project management across a variety of industries. And with that, I am going to go ahead and hand it over to Nick, and he will go over, the agenda for today.
Thank you, Brendan. Appreciate the warm introduction. and welcome everyone to today's webinar around SOTI Connect. I'm excited about this one. This product has been near and dear to my heart for about 2 years now, and worked with a lot of customers deploying the product itself. So for today, we're going to talk about the 5 business challenges with unmanaged printers. We're going to talk about a little bit about the fundamentals and OEM partnerships as well. Managed printers checklist. We're going to recap and talk about next steps, and then we're going to have some time at the end to actually open it up for Q&A for any questions that you might have today. So from an introduction standpoint, wanted to first quickly talk a little bit about the SOTI One platform. Brendan did a great job introducing SOTI as an organization. Our flagship product, SOTI Mobi Control, has been in the industry for many, many years. You might be familiar with some of our products that do mobility management. We've recently launched SOTI Excite that really helps our customers with their diagnostic intelligence tool, helps them resolve downtime quickly and easily using the product. SOTI Snap, our rapid app development tool. But what we're going to really focus on today is our SOTI Connect suite, and really go through some of the benefits of the product and how it can solve some of the business challenges you're having today with unmanaged printers. Just a quick overview around the broadest device support. Mobi Control today manages a broad amount of devices, whether it's your mobility device, rugged hardware, cell phone. Today, we're going to focus on managed printers. Oh, the screen's getting away from me a little bit there. And we're going to talk about managed printers. Just wanted to let everybody know we do have broadest device support, whether it's mobile devices, rugged, tablets, and we're agnostic on operating systems as well, whether you're looking to manage Windows 10, Android, Apple, and Linux as well. There we go there. Now I'm going to pass it over to Neil to talk about the 5 business challenges with unmanaged printers today.
Sorry about that. Talking on mute. I think that happens to all of us. This whole COVID world has turned us all upside down. First of all, Brandon, thank you for the kind words, and Nick, thank you for the introduction there as well. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time here this afternoon, really talking about some of the business challenges that our customers have faced with really not having a management solution in place when it comes to their printer fleets. So, we've spoke to a lot of customers, we did some market research, and really the 5 most important things, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into these 5 things as we go on, but really the number one challenge our customers faced was the lack of visibility into your fleet of printers and where they are deployed, or where they are, or how they are managed. Second issue or challenge that our customers have faced are printer downtime and workflow disruptions. Third, the inability to remotely push configurations and settings to your printers. Fourth, the inability to perform over-the-air updates of firmware, certificates, applications. And last but really not least is really the lack of device data around auditing, analysis, and planning permissions. So the first challenge, as I mentioned, was really the lack of visibility printers. And I can imagine a lot of people on the call today have scratched their head many a times asking, where the hell are my printers? And some of the business challenges, obviously, that our customers face is the kind of the tracking of those devices. And all you want to know is where the printers are. So printers are reported missing only to be found actively used maybe at a different location when they should be at another site. Sites are eager to help each other and get those printers moved between sites. But the most common challenge, as I mentioned, was really just knowing where the printers are. Once they're purchased and sent to sites, they require them soon afterwards. The company kind of loses track of them, of where the printers are, and then really the manual auditing is often required by on-site IT staff, which really takes away from their day-to-day business-specific work that they need to do, which obviously consumes a lot more time. So having the visibility into your fleet of printers and deployment and knowing where they are at any given time is really kind of the driving force behind customers really embracing the SOTI Connect solution. Now, in the following video, what you will see here is really how printers are getting automatically detected when they're connected to the network. And then providing visibility of these printers kind of from a single pane of glass in an auto-grouped rule policy gives that insights into how these printers are performing right now. And again, ultimately, what this will do is with that ease of enrollment and grouping, it will give your on-site IT staff time back in their day and really kind of save expense from having staff to look and check on printers and their status. Second challenge that our customers have, apart from having visibility of printers, is the inability to proactively and get ahead of defined conditions. So not having real-time alerts and not having the ability to take immediate action. So with SOTI Connect, you're able to create automated rules to monitor changes to printer statuses and parameters to allow you to act on alerts in real time and really get those printers up and running so it doesn't really affect your kind of workflow disruptions. The result of this challenge is that it actually does save a lot of time to you and the organization by acting on those downtime and disruptions quickly. And again, reducing cost of downtime and workforce disruptions will really get you and your team up and running and ultimately focus on kind of that end user customer experience by having these printers operational at all given times. What you're going to see here is how automation rules are used to proactively trigger actions, such as changing the state of the printer from green to yellow when the printer connection status changes from online to non-reachable. Clicking on the information icon beside the device state will show you a history of recent changes with more details being provided when clicking on the device, searching for alerts. Here you see the details of the automation rules are shown. The third business challenge that our customers face on a daily basis is printer settings invariably change during work shifts, requiring reconfiguration each day. It's a human nature. I do it, my kids do it. We like to press buttons and settings get changed all the time. From a management perspective, I can safely say that everyone pulls their hair out. So how does SOTI Connect help with that? Creating enrollment, automation, and action rules assigned to groups, device, or even individual devices will allow these devices to be reconfigured to its state that the organization wants to push. So what SOTI Connect will allow you to do is really save time by setting up these rules in advance to apply changes where and when needed, remotely, anytime and anywhere. So as soon as a configuration is changed, we have those rules set up that those settings can be pushed back to those printers to be put back in its original state. This knock-on effect really will reduce cost and time of manual setup where physical access and scrolling through menus is needed, and gaining long-term benefits of consistency, optimal printing quality and compliance with really company regulatory standards and security. Now, in this video, you can see that the printer is being dragged to the store 304 folder, and immediately a new Wi-Fi setting is applied to that printer. So in this case, the action rule has been assigned to store 303 group, applying the change to all applicable printers, similar to how profiles are assigned and applied in Android or iOS devices through SOTI Mobi Control. The change in Wi-Fi settings is reflected in the column for wireless LAN SSID, where the Wi-Fi access point SSID changes from one to another. The fourth challenge customers face is with unmanaged printers is how do I keep all my printers up to date and secure without having on-site IT staff? Now, with SOTI Connect, by using rules and file store to deploy updates to required devices, groups, or device types during off hours and when printers are idle. So you can have them updated, secure from any external threats. Over-the-air OTA firmware certificated apps and file updates are quick to set up and even quicker to implement. It does not require physical access to the printers. You're able to schedule updates in advance and run after hours or at off-peak hours. Ultimately, we do not want to impact your peak hour production site. This is more secure than using a USB stick to update your printers, because USB sticks, again, as we all know, can be easily misplaced or dropped and never found again. Now, here we see the firmware for Zebra printers upgrade with a single click of the download firmware file store action. The firmware is downloaded by the printer. The printer actually goes offline for really a brief moment, and while the update has been applied, and then it's really back online reflecting the new firmware version. For the sake of time, this is an accelerated video, but firmware downloads and updates vary by the size of firmware updates, type of printer it is, and the network that that printer is connected to. In addition to the firmware updates, these one-click actions can be performed on many different types of updates, including printer quality, media, power settings, Wi-Fi settings, and even Wi-Fi certificates. Last but not least, the fifth challenge we found with our customer is putting the right number of printers in the right place with the right supplies. What do I mean by that? Customers were unable to capture matrix of interest such as firmware versions, life cycle of printer, for example, toner, printer head, battery capacity, charge times, health status. So using data collection rules, reports and APIs, we are now have the ability to make better informed decisions on auditing, usage, maintenance, and procurement needs, budgeting for expenditure in advance, scheduling maintenance at convenient times, reallocating printers to meet varying demand, albeit mitigating the need for any unexpected repairs and sudden maintenance costs. Now, in this video, we see how reports are generated for all Zebra ZQ600 mobile and ZT410 industrial printer device types with specific printer parameters. Total labels printed and media length printed are chosen to be included on the report, and this report is now saved and scheduled to be distributed by email in PDF and CSV formats by the end of the day daily. Recipients can use such reports to look at daily label and media usage over time, budget for expenditures in advance, schedule maintenance at convenient times, relocate printers to meet varying demands, and ultimately enabling teams to make better informed decisions. Reports can also be pulled via API, utilizing our handy Swagger tool to see all available APIs and how they are called. I'm now going to hand it back to Nick, and he will talk about some of the fundamentals and OEM partnerships.
Awesome. Thank you, Neil. We're going to get into fundamentals, and you're probably asking yourselves what kind of partnerships we have available with some of our printer manufacturers today. So, quick overview of what we've discussed today on around SOTI Connect, an Internet of Things framework, managing multiple items outside of printers. Some of the benefits are obviously manage and gain visibility into your IoT devices, with our current focus today being around printers. Some of the stuff Neil went through today, reducing total cost of ownership of having unmanaged printers. The benefit of SOTI Connect is actually being integrated within our SOTI One platform. So being able to manage now on a single pane of glass, multiple mobile devices with different OEM printer manufacturers, and having the ability to report back and be able to manage and secure multiple devices. And for those of you who might not know, our SOTI Connect product was winner of the 2021 IoT Evolution Industrial Product of the Year Award, which was very exciting for us. Now, you might be asking yourself, how do I deploy SOTI Connect? Similar to some of our other products like MobiControl, we have multiple ways of deploying it. So we can do cloud, we can do hybrid solution, or we can even do on-premise. Our recommendation would be to reach out to your Barcodes representative to find out what would be the best path for you today, depending on what devices you're using, what environment you're using today. So that would be our recommendation, and then they can work with our engineering team also to find out what would be the best deployment type for your environment. As a quick overview and talking about the key support features of some of the highlighted points that we've gone through, the big win and pain point that we solve is automated discovery and enrollment. Being able to en masse bring on new printers, enroll them within the SOTI Connect product versus having to touch each printer or manually have each printer and do a one-to-one enrollment. Similar to what you've seen maybe in MobiControl in the past, we've got device grouping and device folder tree structure. So now it's easy to group your printers based on manufacturer, based on location, based on the use case or projects that you might be working on. So our device tree allows you to get granular on how you separate those printers and how you send out different updates and configurations to different groups of printers that might need different configurations at different times. Automated configurations and bulk updates. So if you need to update firmware or security patches, you can push those out en masse to all the printers in the area, or you can select different subgroups and do updates based on what's important to the business, whether that's at a certain period of time, certain day, or certain group. Wi-Fi and certificate renewals, a constant pain point. If you want to update a printer today that's unmanaged, you'd have to physically find that, use a USB, as Neil had mentioned. Now we can stay up to date with latest Wi-Fi certificates, security policies, whatever it might be. And from a reporting standpoint and alerts, being able to now manage a large investment of a printer fleet, you can see what you have out there, where they are in real time, and even set up configurations to have alerts and be proactive if something were to go wrong with a printer out in the field. SOTI, as Brendan mentioned earlier, we've got 4,000 partners globally. And as an organization, we've been really driven by partnerships. And SOTI Connect is no different. We've got partnerships today with some of the largest leading printer manufacturers today, as you can see on the screen here. And with the latest release and one of our launches recently that we had put out there is around our Zebra management of printers within the SOTI Connect platform. So these are the OEMs and printer models we manage today. And if you see something on the screen that isn't on there, maybe an OEM that you have or a specific model that you're working with today that you would find value in being brought into the SOTI Connect platform suite of software, please feel free to reach out to a Barcodes representative. They can reach out to our team that constantly certifies net new OEM printer manufacturers or models as well. And we can get that model that you might be having on the floor today integrated with SOTI Connect as well. I'm going to pass it back over to Neil now to go through the manage printer checklist. Over to you, Neil.
Appreciate it, Nick. So now we've kind of gone over kind of the challenges that customers face, kind of talked about the fundamentals, the OEM partnerships, and now the question maybe is what do we need to do to kind of get something on something going with SOTI Connect. So there's a bit of a kind of a checklist, and don't be too scared by what you see coming up, but we want to ensure with SOTI and Barcodes that you are getting kind of the best solution. Some reason the screen's not moving forward. There you go. We want to make sure that the solution has been implemented the right way with kind of the right business use cases and really tick marking some of the challenges that you're facing. So point 1, 2, and 3, I would like to I'd actually group them together. So what we would want to do is really understand some of the business challenges that you want to address by having a solution like SOTI Connect in place to manage your fleet of printers. What are some of the day-to-day printer use cases across your entire organization is another area that we would like to understand. And what would you like to see in a solution? So, maybe for company A, it's really visibility, but company B or company C, it's really around security updates and keeping your infrastructure secure. So we would like to understand what you would like to see in a solution. Our solution is very feature rich. So we want to make sure that when we implement the solution, we do it right straight out of the gate. Second of all, we would need to understand or know what are some of the printer OEMs, models, and firmware versions that you guys are working with currently, and see how that can integrate with SOTI Connect. Obviously, as Nick just talked about, how SOTI Connect can be deployed. We want to know: is it going to be a cloud deployment? Is it going to be hosted on your own prem, or is it going to be a bit of a hybrid version there as well? So once we kind of got all that information together, just one little tidbit, a proof of concept can take anything up to 3 months, depending on the scalability, the type of printers that you have. So just kind of, earmark that once we kind of go into that proof of concept. And then maybe as customers, you may need to identify a different team internally to bring into these conversations to facilitate and assist with setting up the kind of the gateway OEMs and the SOTI Connect trial as well. And then once we've kind of put all these pieces together, that's when kind of the exciting stuff starts, and that's where we kind of kickstart the SOTI Connect trial with our engineering team and Barcodes engineering team to make sure that that solution is implemented correctly right out of the gate. Now, just to kind of recap and kind of what are the next steps from this webinar that Barcodes is hosting. We've discussed and kind of talked about printer management and some of the challenges that our customers have faced over time with not having a solution in place. So really the first one is having that single console for visibility and management, the ability to kind of auto discover printers as they are connected to your network and then grouping them across your sites. And obviously performing actions on that as well. So, no need to keep those Excel sheets and IP addresses. SOTI Connect can automate that, giving you some time back in your day to focus on other business projects that you may have. The second one was the proactive responses. So receiving alerts of device issues before they even cause a downtime. A printer runs out of toner. It could be days before you're notified. So with SOTI Connect, you'll be able to create these customized alerts to give you the heads up that there may be an issue with the printer coming up in the near future, really taking you proactive actions on these conditions and ensuring, customer satisfaction is kept at a high level. Number 3 was anywhere, anytime printer support. So really having the ability to reduce resolution times through automated rules and visualization. So the days are gone where you need to call someone to touch the printer physically. You're now able to provide that support from that single pane of glass console. For OTA updates of firmware and others, so really having the ability to, number one, ensure that the firmware updates are up to date, but the ability to schedule these updates kind of at your time, so be it off-peak time, in the middle of the night, so that when you come in the next day, these printers are up and running to the state that they should be. And lastly was the data for auditing, analysis, and planning. So, very powerful thing here, because you're now able to make better informed decisions on, auditing of usage, maintenance, and procurement needs. So again, the days of having 100 different toner cartridges stocked away in the storage cabinets are gone. You can really have that kind of reporting available to you to be more proactive when you're looking to make expenditures for the business. Kind of the next steps from here would be, highly recommend that you reach out to your Barcodes account manager, account executive. I work with Barcodes very closely, so I'll be more than happy to work with them and work with you to kind of take this next steps. Obviously, go through that checklist that I had covered earlier, and once we've gone through that checklist, we would start that SOTI Connect trial for you.
All right. Thank you, Nick and Neil, for presenting there. We're going to go through a few questions that came up during the webinar here, and let's address those quick. So first question is, where do we get the software? And I think I can probably answer that one. Trials can be started via your Barcodes rep account manager. You can reach them by phone or email if you know who they are. Otherwise, visit our website and submit a contact us form. How much does the software cost? I'll shoot that over to one of the SOTI reps here, because there's probably some factors that go into that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can help answer that one. I would recommend, speaking to a Barcodes representative or your account manager to help you get a quote based on what your needs are.
Okay. And then how is SOTI Connect different than printer OEM management software?
I could answer that one, team. So the main difference is that SOTI Connect, as you saw with the videos that Neil was showing, is that we are a vendor. Although we focus on one specific vendor, we're vendor agnostic, and along with that, protocol agnostic. With it, you can manage printers from the different OEM partners that Nick had shared, and you could manage these devices on a single console and are not constrained with a specific protocol to discover and enroll printers. At the end of the day, this eases your time to deployment, particularly when deploying a mix bag of printer OEMs. Hope that answers the question.
Sure. Thank you very much. And then we actually have one more. Does this software support HP, Ricoh, and Lexmark?
So we are working with some of those OEM partners that were mentioned, but right now it's we do not have an integration with any of those. It's the 8 that were showed by Nick earlier that are currently supported.
Gotcha. So we're working on that. Thank you guys again. We appreciate it. Thank you everyone for joining, Nick, Neil, and Johan, and the entire SOTI team. Thank you for hopping on the call today. Again, your account manager will actually be in touch with you to schedule a call. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We have some of our contact info up here. You can visit us at our websites as well. Again, thanks everyone for joining, and we hope to see you at the next webinar.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your
Thank
time
you.
today.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time too.